Hello and welcome back to the channel. Okay, so today we have a lot to cover. We always have a lot to cover. But first, let's look into three important things here into this video. The first one is we're going to look at her reaction when she's being sentenced, just from our own curiosity. The second thing is we're going to look at her statement, what she had to say to the family and to us, the viewers, like the public, right? And the third thing is she wrote a letter to the judge after the sentencing. Now, I understand none of this is news, all right? But I haven't seen any of this because I was unavailable when this happened sometime in December. Anyway, I'm sorry to bore you. Let's go straight into it. I don't know how long has it been in the intro, probably too long. But just in case you are new here, I am Alistair Nzekio, and this is just my point of view, okay? I am not a journalist. I'm just a regular person with a brain and a pen and paper stating their opinion on this nasty, murderous beast.
Defense, are we ready to bring in our jury?
Yes, Judge.
All right, let's go ahead and bring in our jury. Everyone will remain seated.
Okay, I don't mean to cut you off there so quickly. I just want to point out a few things. In terms of body language, what's interesting to me here is that even the prosecution seems to be nervous. So I don't know if it's just the nature of verdicts, even when you think you have an ironclad situation, that you get you still get nervous. I'm not sure, but the vibe and the essence I get on everybody there is a sense of nervousness. I understand why the defense could be nervous, but the prosecution, I thought they did a great job, right? But understandably. However, what I do find interesting is Sarah Boone's demeanor. So, yes, everybody is nervous, but there is a sense of poisonous, right? They have their elbows out to the side, leaned into the chair. It's because for the man on the table, the stakes is not as high, but for her the stakes is very high. So her level of nervousness is clearly, I can see it. It's like, oh crap. But it's almost as if she knew the answer, almost as if she didn't expect to walk out, right? There's a defeatedness to her slouchiness. Interesting.
You answer?
State, do you recognize our jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, do you recognize our jury?
Yes, sir.
All right, members of the jury, you may be seated. Thank you. Members of our jury, good evening. I understand that you've come to a verdict in this case.
Yes.
If you could please hand the verdict form to the deputy, please.
Okay, so it may have been difficult to notice here. So I'll do my best to put in the editing. So what you see here is her making eye contact with the jury. And in her eye contactness, there is still this essence of being small. Now, follow my thoughts here. So it's almost as if she's gathering sympathy here with trying to connect with the jury. Darabrook did the same thing, because in their mind, they cannot help it. They cannot help it but to try to contrive and create a story. Their brain cannot realize that this is it. There's nothing to be changed here, but they're still trying to create influence. And so it's her nature, it's her go-to, and there's this right? There's this weird automaticness. It's not weird, actually. That's what makes them very dangerous outside the court of law. It's because to a normal person, that is sweet, sensitive, remorseful, gentle, inviting. Huh? It brings your guards down. But in court, it's too late. I mean, it's too late, but that has no influence, right? But they can't perceive that. And so it's interesting to see the alleged narcissist still trying to spin the story. And Mr. Brooke did that. I find them fascinating, very dangerous, fascinating.
Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk, if you could please publish the verdict.
In the Circuit Court of the 9th Judicial Circuit in Orange County, Florida, case number 2020 CF 2603, the State of Florida versus Sarah Boone. Verdict. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder in the second degree as charged in the information. So say we all, dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, on this 25th day of October 2024. The form has been signed by the foreperson.
Madam Clerk, please poll our jury.
So I'm going to do in the editing, I'll do the extra work for you guys. I'm going to put maybe here before the verdict is read. And then I'm going to put maybe here when the verdict is read. Notice the difference in the fidget of her fidgetedness. Fidgety, right? Before the verdict is read, her brain is still trying to influence. But once the verdict is read, the beast goes back to, well, whatever. It goes back to this defiance. Just to give you an idea of what's going on up there in her mind, allegedly. Yeah, but I'm not an idiot. Up there in her mind that, you know, it's second nature to them to be deceitful, conniving beast. In her subconscious, she really thought by acting like the coy, gentle damsel that the verdict would come out not guilty. But once it came out guilty, she was like, well, all bets are off. You all suck anyway, right? Like that's that's the mind shift that I'm trying to show here. And you know what, guys? A PSA, sure, but in real life, that's one of the things, one of the cues when you can notice a narcissist. The first one is they never apologize for anything. They're always right and they're never wrong, right? Someone who's never wrong, never says sorry, or if they apologize, is if you have to apologize to me first. Like the apology has to come in some sort of like win or on top of or better of. Please run away. Run away. Run away. The second thing is the second cue is if you have someone who's clearly unreasonable, like it's like unreasonable. But in the next breath, when they realize how unreasonable they are or they've been, they come out and seduce you. They do something super nice. I give you an example, right? Like they just kill someone and you're like, wow, you killed someone. And they go, oh yeah, I killed someone. And the next day they buy you a new car to enchant you to forget that you killed someone. Do you know what I'm saying? Two things. And they cannot help but do that. They can't help it. So you're welcome.
Poll our jury.
Juror seat number 1, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror seat number 2, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror seat number 3, is this your true
Yes,
and
it
correct
is.
verdict?
Oh.
Juror seat number 4, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror seat number 5, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror seat number 6,
Ooh.
is this your true?
Members of our jury, again, I want to thank you for your time, your sacrifice, and your attention in this matter. I know that we spent almost 2 weeks together, and it was not taken lightly, and I really appreciate the time and the effort and the sacrifice that you put into this case. I want to advise you now of your final instruction. Members, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank you for your time and your consideration in this case. I also wish to advise you of some very special privileges enjoyed by jurors. No juror can ever be required to talk about the discussions that occurred in the jury room except by court order. For many centuries, our society has relied upon juries for consideration of difficult cases. We have recognized for hundreds of years that a jury's deliberations discussions, and votes should remain their private affair as long as they wish it. Therefore, the law gives you a unique privilege not to speak about the jury's work. Although you are at liberty to speak to anyone about your deliberations, you are also at liberty to refuse to speak to anyone. A request to discuss either your verdict or your deliberations may come from those who are simply curious, from those who might seek to find fault with you, from the media, from the attorneys, or elsewhere. It will be up to you to decide whether to preserve your privacy as a juror. With that, members of the jury, again, I thank you for your service. I'm going to ask you to return to the deliberation room. I'll be back there shortly with your jury certificates, and thank you.
Go ahead.
For those who don't know, when you have excessive blinking, like I sometimes do here on this channel, is when not everybody does it, but most people do it, is when your brain is thinking really fast. There's a lot going on in the cabeza, right? And one of the expression of that is excessive blinking. Some people may have no blinking at all. But the natural de facto is right up here, excessive blinking. So to me, because most people are average, please, when they give you the, you have the outliers, but most people fall in the bell curve, please. So most likely she's in the bell curve, and so all that excessive blinking is just her brain is going through the wheels in emotion. And I want to go back to what the judge said about the jury, and this is nothing against the courts, the jury, and etc. But hold on one second, sir. I know you just read a piece of paper, and I do love you, Just Krenik. Hi, Dad. Yeah, I call him Dad because he's so father-like. Privileges for the juror? Excuse me? $5 a day? What the hell is that? $5 a day? Mind you, these jurors had to deal with this woman for over a month, let's just say, right? Doesn't matter. 2 weeks. $5 a day. And first of all, I can't go outside. They can't go outside. They cannot have any phone, no internet, no entertainment, no Netflix, no nothing. So you mean to tell me all my whole life for the past 2 weeks is stare at a wall, sleep on my bed, maybe touch myself a little bit, and then go listen to this monster and this criminality, and then go back home and with my thoughts? I mean, come on, $5 a day? I don't think so. I don't think so. That's why everybody tries to escape jury duty. There's like updates. How are we paying $300,000 for a murderer, but you're only giving me $5 a day if I'm so important? If my privilege is so important and unique, update that mess. If only we had more citizens who demanded more for their right, as vocally as I am right now. No, of course not. It's okay. I'm a dual citizen, so I have escape options. Ow. Ow. Anyway, so let's continue with this operating flow here. All right?
Ms. Boone, the jury has spoken in this matter and has found you guilty of murder in the second degree. The court adjudicates you guilty of murder in the second degree. As this is your first felony conviction, you are entitled to a pre-sentencing investigation by the Department of Corrections. Mr. Owens, are you seeking that in this case?
Yes.
Name for the record for us.
My name is Blanca Torres.
Okay. Ma'am, you can go ahead.
Okay, okay. I just want to tell Sarah Boone that I don't hate her for what she did. And I always remember that evening when that lady came into my door and she knocked at the door. And she asked for my name. I said, I tell her my name. And then she said, "Can I come in?" I said, "Okay, yes." And she told me to sit down. I never think that was going to be my son. And then she said my son was dead. Since that day, I can't sleep. It's hard for me to remember that moment. My son is not here no more. She don't only kill my son, she killed a father, a brother, an uncle. It's been hard. And my family, because all the brothers, they will always work together. But now it's like something real. Love is missing. Sometimes when I look out the window, I'm waiting for him to come and say, Mom, I love you.
Well,
She was always there. She called and called me. I missed us, Mommy.
oh,
The last time that I talked to him was at 12 o'clock in January, New Year. He came to my bed and said, Mom. He woke me up and I said, Mom, I love you. Happy New Year. Since that day, I don't see him no more. He was my son. I love him. And I miss him a lot. My family miss him a lot too. But I don't hurt her. But you know what? I was blessed. She ain't gonna be blessed like me because I have my son. I raised him. I have his children, my granddaughter, my grandson, and she don't gonna be able to have that. And I did. I raised him. He wasn't perfect, but he was a good son. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. State anything further from this witness?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, sir.
Thank you.
listen. This is what I always preach. Some people say, shut up with that mess. Even when I was a stupid young man, when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, when I was dumb and young, I've always operated with the mindset that my action is bigger than me. How I make someone feel is bigger than that person. And a lot of times people who are criminals, they do fall majority of time in a narcissistic category, yes. But those that don't, there's this selfish idea that you're the center of the world. She says she doesn't hate her. And frankly, yeah, who are we? We can't discuss that. She doesn't hate Sarah Boone. Some people might say, she's lying. No, maybe it's not hate. She feels absolutely nothing, which is actually worse than hate. So I think the emotion she's trying to describe is she's irrelevant to me, which is worse than hate. Right? But if you tie it down to the last part that she said, the reason why Sarah Boone is irrelevant in her mind is because she still has a piece of her son through the legacy he created, but Sarah Boone has nothing. Sarah Boone is leaving with nothing. And listen, I didn't even get that far. I curated this thing over here, but I can tell you right now, Sarah Boone is not going to let that go because that's an insult. And to a narcissist, you can't insult them. They need to feel like they have the upper hand. They need to show you that they're not affected by this. But, Sarah Boone is affected by this, right? But there's no way she's going to let that comment slide. I know my crazies. But there's something that's important in what the mother said. She's broken. The family's broken. And when you have, no matter who you are in life, even someone like Sarah Boone, yeah, even the criminals on the wall, except hers, different story. You're connected. Someone, something in life needs you, whether it's your plant, whether it's your dog, whether it's the roof that's collapsing, they need someone to fix it. So somewhere, something, you're needed. And so our connection to this world is deeper than just ourselves. And when she says she's broken, it's because that ripple effect is missing a dot. And that dot will never be repaired. It will only be forgotten. Because George's kids will always remember. George's grandkids will always remember. And maybe George's great-grandkids will remember. But after that, it'll be forgotten. And that dot is never repaired. To give you the pain is generational. So when you go out there and be an asshole to someone on purpose, because there's reasons for you to be an asshole. If you play with me, I'll play back. But to be purposely a dick, you're doing generational damage. Oh, you're so overreactive. Don't overreact. I'm not on this one. I know I overreact a lot in jest, but I'm serious with this one. If the world was a lot kinder, we wouldn't be where we are today. Hi, Mark. And there's no excuse for bad behavior. The moment you make an excuse for bad behavior, listen, come here. Let me tell you something. The moment you make an excuse for bad behavior, you need to look at yourself. Because that's not okay, and that's not normal. You have issues. Go get therapized. Oh, you want to throw tomatoes? It's okay. Look, watch this. Dodge. Next segment.
Sarah Boone.
Now, this is unlike a trial, so you're allowed to speak in a narrative form, as well as I understand you have taken some notes or written a letter that you want to read from, and then you want to speak to the court after that.
Yes.
Why don't you go ahead and get started?
This is actually an edited version of.
Hold on a second.
Oh, here we go. Fix the mic. I can't.
I had a lot to say. I've had a lot of time to think about things, and I didn't really know how to put it on paper, and I didn't know how much I could say or how little I should say. So
Ooh, okay.
what I have here is, like I said, an edited version. But I would like to read the more important parts that I feel that everyone should know that wasn't said in my actual trial. And on top of what I have on paper, I have, this is just the tip of the tip of the tip of the iceberg. So I wanted to read this, and then, if I may, I would like to address everyone in my apology on top of my statement.
You may proceed, ma'am.
Sorry. What kind of intro is this? No. If you want any more disrespectful sass, there it is. That's why I was trolling my neck and acting a fool, because that is the intro. She's telling you how she's going to proceed. She's going to make you kick rocks. She's telling you. I mean, what kind of statement is this? If you want any proof that she doesn't give a damn about you, about the mom who just told us. And again, I'm telling you, I know my crazies. Okay? The mother said she won't have what I have. The mother of George said, at least she, Sarah Boone, won't have what I have, which is what? Grandkids, legacy, and the happiness of George's legacy. Because Sarah Boone has nothing. You think Sarah will let that go? No, darling. She said edited version. That means she went over there and she rewrote a few things to address that comment from the mom. I know my crazies. I know my crazies. Come on now, prove me wrong.
Kintu Sukuroi is a kind of Japanese ceramic style which means to repair with gold. In this tradition, when a ceramic piece breaks, an artisan will fuse the pieces back together again using liquid gold or gold dust lacquer. So rather than being covered up, the breaks become more obvious and a brilliant new piece of art emerges from the brokenness. It embraces flaws, weakness, and imperfections, and also teaches the essence of resilience. Every crack in a ceramic piece is a part of its history, and each piece becomes more beautiful because it has been broken. This is the wisdom of Kintu Sukuroi. In my wisdom and with all of my repairs, then, now, and ongoing, God is, has been, and will always be my artisan. All of my gold is forgiveness. This has held me together, made me shine brighter, and overcome the damage caused by George Torres, the Torres family, the justice system, Orange County Corrections Department, social media, scoundrel detectives, infamy, defamation, ongoing constitutional rights violations, second-degree murder, forced into being pro se. Just as gold is very precious, forgiveness is invaluable.
Okay, now look.
Forgiveness is not...
Honey, look how she turned the page. What? I can't even breathe. You can't make this up. Disease leaving my body. You can't even make this up. What? What? So she's associating the gold to... I can't. You know what? I can't. Because that is unbelievable, right? It's as if nothing happened. Like, what do you mean? I don't know what that... Whose suitcase is this? Someone died in it? Who is that person? It's as if nothing happened. Wow. I cannot believe she is blaming everybody. She's literally put the blame on everybody, including the family. What's the family is to blame for what? For giving birth to George? I can't. And she turned that page like, I ain't done. I got more. I can't.
Forgiveness is not an attempt to change or forget who, what, or how you've lived through to be so gold, but an act of grace, humility, and considerable self-compassion to be set free from sorrow. Withholding forgiveness denies your brilliance and adds even greater grief and deeper heartache, irreparable cracks on top of the already that no one deserves, no matter the pain or disappointment, untruths or injustice. It doesn't matter. As the more broken you are, even though now different than before, you've become more outstanding and more extraordinary. Above all, when you let go of blame, misunderstandings, excuses, give up your anger and cease from resentment, this is forgiven. And when you forgive, you heal. And when you heal, you move forward. My goal begins with George Torres, and every time he slapped me, kicked, punched, spit on, raped, stabbed, choked, laughed at, pushed, pulled, dragged, whipped, tripped, stole from, lied, terrorized, threatened, humiliated, forced, degraded, made me cry. Every time he tried to end me, defeat, or destroy. I forgive George for beating me senseless, for trying to sleep because I had to go to work or my son's field trip the next day, for ruining my deceased family's heirlooms, traditions, and keepsakes, my son's furniture, destroying the television we watched together, for wrecking our townhome by breaking windows, punching holes in the walls and doors, ramming his entire body into glass doors, kicking in my front and back door over and over and over, for breaking or removing the locks from all of the doors and sometimes the knobs altogether, so I had nowhere to feel safe, including the sacred space of my son's room where he beat me bloody on his bed. For terrorizing and threatening my blind and deaf dogs by leaving the gate open I built to keep them safe, telling me he hoped I'd find their bloated dead body in the pond or scrape their remains off of the pavement, for kicking them off of the bed and throwing across the room because they were trying to protect me. for threatening to make me unrecognizable to my son by breaking all of the bones in my face, like his brother Moses did to him after he kept seeing all of the bruises from George beating me, like all of the times their father beat their mother, for all of the drunken rages and fist fights with so many neighbors when wandering into their apartments during hunting expeditions after I had escaped, for drowning me in liquor and wine because I didn't want to drink, causing me to urinate on myself, then butting the end of the bottle in my face, giving me 2 black eyes and a bloody nose, for making me experience what it is to be sodomized, threatening to kill my friends and the neighbors when they checked on me to make sure I was alive and in one piece, for threatening to burn down our townhome and set my car on fire because I got a job, for holding me hostage on weekends my son was supposed to come over by keeping my keys around his neck, my phone in his crotch, and a butcher knife stuck in the middle of the table as a warning not to ask anything or try to leave, for stabbing me in the leg and not letting me call 911 for an ambulance or seek help, where I nearly bled to death until I concocted a lie to save him from being arrested, for destroying my phone with a hammer because my son called, for me experiencing ever being arrested and after today, prison, for beating me almost blind, crushing my occipital lobe, for having me experience what it means to see stars like in the cartoons where a character has a tall lump on their head. I had that too, and many times, for dragging me downstairs by my hair in the middle of the night just to sit next to him, for taking my car driving drunk with my debit card to buy more alcohol while I slept, even after I kindly explained the importance of my car to take my son to school foremost, me to work, and he to his batterer's intervention classes and probation officer meetings, where I would be forced to sit for hours in the parking lot waiting for him, for causing me so much trauma and pain mentally, physically, emotionally. I had to be hospitalized more than once, for destroying my reputation and integrity, for my M for murderer scarlet letter, not letting me feel safe to live, talk to other people, spend time with my son, have a job, friendships, simply go to the bathroom with the door closed, or go to sleep soundly or comfortably. I forgive George for lying, for him trying in so many ways, so many times, to end me with his terrifying love.
Okay, first of all, go F yourself, Sarah Boone. Let me explain something to you. You've already been proven to be a liar and also not credible. All right? So let's exclude the majority of your rant here, because this is clearly what she wanted to say all along. But there's a point, and I'm going to point it out in the editing. Oh, God, me and my extra work. Okay? Where as she's talking, she gives this. And every time he slapped me to the family. And I can only imagine who that's directed to. Please. The mom. All right. She complained about a lot of things, but one thing, I'm not going to write the whole thing. Please, I'm not writing a book. But I can tell you this, right? She's like, he prevented me to go hang out with my son. No, beast. I don't have your mind. We spoke to your ex-husband. You never took care of your kid. Listen, having children is a lot of work, all right? And we do the best we can with what we got, okay? But one thing that you should always do as a parent, and I don't care who you is, you could throw more tomatoes if you like, always show up for your child. It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to bail them out of jail. No. You know what I mean, show up for your kid? Like, okay, mother, I'm a murderer, but I'm looking to change my ways. All right, I'm willing to listen. Right? Like, that show up. Always show up for your kid, right? It doesn't mean enable them. I hope I make myself clear in the difference. I'm not telling you to be an enabler and to be an idiot. Like, yeah, it's my son. I do whatever I want. No. Okay? Because that's also wrong. You're not raising an animal. You're raising a member of society. It's not a pet and it's not a toy. It's a human. Get it together. So to sit there and blame that you can't be a good parent because this guy over there is XYZ, that's none of my business, none of my problem. It's yours. If you couldn't handle the responsibility, then close your damn legs. It's not even the 1950s anymore. I mean, 1950s is birth control. This birth control. Out of your mind. Out of your freaking mind. What is this? Like, how are we responsible for your responsibility as a parent to just show up for your kid? No, darling, no. It is not my problem. It is not my issue. Not me per se, but no, she's talking to the family as if it's the family's issues. No, it's yours. You're the parent. You're the parent. You're the parent. You're the parent. No excuse for bad behavior. No excuse for bad behavior. If you make an excuse for bad behavior, you have a problem yourself. There is no excuse for bad behavior. You can feel compassionate about it. You can feel sorry about it, but there's no excuse. Oh, Father, I killed someone. Okay, sorry to hear. I'm so disappointed. How dare you? Right? No excuse. Like, oh, you just got home. Go ahead and relax. No! Excuse for bad behavior. Not this parent. You must be at your mind. Anyway, and then she continues drowning in liquor and wine. Girl, have several seats. Like, who you think you're talking to like this? Do you think we're that vapid and stupid? But that's the thing she does. Even at the last moment of thrashing around in court, she's trying to manipulate something. She is building a scenario, and I can tell you right now, I can see right through this mess. I told you I know my criminals. Listen, okay? She talks about the liquid gold. Associate the gold to her experience with George. Then she goes to details with their experience with George. What are you insinuating here? And then she says over here, like, when the representation of the gold is that what doesn't break me, make me stronger, outstanding, extraordinary. Where are we going with this? Are you trying to tell me that you are outstanding, extraordinary? Oh, honey, she's telling you she's better than you and me combined. All right, let's keep watching. Already I'm like, oh la 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 la, mais c'est incroyable. Mais qu'est-ce qui se passe? Oh, okay, pas de problème.
I also forgive the Torres family, his mother and father foremost, also his 2 ex-wives and daughters, all for knowing who George was, capable of, and has done in the past, his history of violence and where he learned it, then to keep turning a blind eye when I would ask for help. All of his siblings, including Farrell Torres, who is now on his way to prison for stabbing the mother of their baby in the side of her head. For everyone who...
Wait a minute. What? Wait, stop. Okay, what? All right, girl, is that true? Family, I'm not a journalist, so I know people will come for me. Report the story right! Please have several seats, I'm not interested. But family... Is that true? Oh, my Lord. I must live a sheltered life. And, I didn't think I did. Please, my childhood, I was almost trafficked. I was not sheltered. But maybe the world is so different nowadays. What is going on? All right.
Who knew what George was doing to me, sometimes how and when, but allowed and enabled. I forgive them for caring too late. I hope they all ask themselves while quiet and comfortable in bed at night the uneasy question, what could I have done to stop this from happening to both of them? And after all the time Sarah tried to, by asking for help, from all of us, and so many times. Another great contributor of my gold is social media, with its greed, insensitivity, deception, obvious exploitation, and advantageous gain from my criminal case as a whole.
Yes.
And for sentencing me by anticipation as a result of ignorance and hate, conjured and fabricated by the organized crime that is social media,
yes,
which condemned me in the court of global public opinion since the beginning.
Yes.
My family law case is the new prey waiting to be picked apart and pillaged from me being made infamous by social media in my criminal case.
Yes.
It simply seems I cannot forgive and be forgiven and move forward.
No.
Social media has made me a pariah. It has caused great oppression and undeniable disadvantages.
Get the press.
Especially by broadcasting and manipulating my cases online.
Perfect.
In my criminal case, as a result, my opportunities to be given a fair, proper, and uninfluenced, successful conclusion was heavily depleted and poisoned. I forgive them.
First of all, I don't need your forgiveness, so have several seats. Number 2, okay, if you don't understand the game, then have several seats. You're not cut out for this. Let me tell you something right now. This is the world of social media. I do think social media ruined the world, okay? And I do think that the fact that it's being unregulated ruined everything. But what am I going to do about it? It's up to you, future citizen, and maybe future criminals in question. You think you're going to go out there and act like a fool and think nobody's going to see it? Of course not. If you have the audacity to take someone's life or commit a crime, become a criminal, or active criminal, then have several seats. You have no say into this. Do you understand? If your business is out there, that's your issue. If you're not smart enough to take the precautions to keep your business under wrap and keep it, secluded from all prying eyes, because we are nosy as F. Welcome to the world. Are you crazy? It's up to you, citizen of the world, to take care of you and make sure you raise your future generation, your uncle, your niece and nephews in the proper way. It's not my responsibility. Again, this deflection of things. Do you know how hard life is? Do you know how difficult it is to even pay rent nowadays? So you want what? You want me to go there and be like, oh my God, I gotta pay rent, but I gotta be mindful of Sarah Boone. Let's have several seats. And to all of you criminals out there who think you're entitled to anything. No! Even I'm not entitled to anything. No. Yes. Public opinion is a very important thing, right? If you don't want to be an idiot, then don't be an idiot. If you're going to be an idiot, be ready to walk away and be an idiot and take that mantle. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? So sitting here and being yelled at and scuffled at, I'm not interested. Look at me being so passionate. Okay. Fun note. This morning, so, okay, first of all, I sometimes sleep in my daughter's room. Sometimes, we sleep on different floors. And sometimes I'm like, I don't feel like going over there. So I just shuffle myself and on her bed. She enjoys it. Because, sometimes when she wakes up in the middle of the night, because she goes to her bathroom herself. So, she's fully potty trained. She got it. And then I'm not a light sleeper, but I'm a light sleeper when you're a parent. You know what I mean? And when she gets up to go to the bath, she goes, oh, Papa. And then, because I'm on her bed, so she tries to go over me to go to the bathroom, right? She goes, oh, sorry, excuse me. My girl is so polite. I'm doing something right. Now, you hear that, Sarah Boone? I'm involved in every way, shape, or form. And then, so this morning, I slept a little longer. And Christopher was like, come on, time to go to school. And she was like to Christopher, shh, Papa is sleeping. Amazing. Look at that consideracy of a 2-year-old and a half. A child can do this. Listen. And, I'm a laissez-faire parent. Oh my God, look at me ranting about parents. Listen, don't you want to take a little break from this lunatic telling you how crazy you are? Listen, I'm a laissez-faire parent, but don't play with me because I'm not your friend. I even tell my niece and nephews, right? I'm like, listen, you guys are too young for me to party with you too hard. I'm not your friend. I'm your uncle. I need to be able to tell you, shut the F up. You're doing the wrong thing. What the F is wrong with you? I need to be able to say that. So, yes, we're having a good time, but what's your limit? The time where you and I can have a laissez-faire friendship thing is when you're 40. When you're old enough to know better. But 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, no, darling, you're still a little kid. And you're going to act stupid. And someone needs to come in front of your face and tell you, this is wrong. What is wrong with you? Right? So, I'm nice till I'm not. Yeah. And I don't have that fear. I don't have that fear to tell you you're stepping out of bounds. What am I going in my thoughts? I'm trying to distract myself from this lunatic here telling me how I'm supposed to feel and behave. And also, not for nothing, go back to my little daughter. Let me tell you something. You know how I sometimes say like, okay.
Also, all of the media tycoons for not having a life of their own, trying so desperately to make themselves seem so right by making me appear so wrong. Forgiveness for prejudgment, ridiculous theatrics, lies, making and taking blood money from my and others' misfortunes, accidents, and catastrophes. It's all over their hands and their keyboards. And even after all that's been said and done, theorized, hypothesized, scrutinized, and blasphemed, in my case, still no one knows me.
Okay.
In the end, I forgive myself for not choosing my life sooner, for not...
Oh, the disease leaving my body. Yeah, media tycoon. You're talking about with the owner of the social media stuff? Of course, as if, listen, if you think corporate people care about, if you think corporate America care about you, you also have a problem. Get yourself checked. Corporate America doesn't give a crap about who you is. Okay? And the second thing is like blood money. Blood money. Nobody works for free. Nobody works for free.
For not being more brave, vigilant, bolder, and outspoken, stronger, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. For being hopeless, desperate, simple-minded, weak, and inexperienced. I forgive myself for not realizing I was enduring a life of domestic violence and that the vicious cycle of never ends. I had nothing to compare to. I've never been hit by a man ever before in my life. I was raised hitting a woman was wrong and should never happen. No excuse. I forgive myself for not escaping permanently, for not fighting back sooner to save myself, my son, my dogs, home, and car. Having 20/20 hindsight thinking of everything I could have done differently or better to avoid the outcome. I think about this every day since. Also, of all the good days we had together, for him at least, while I was constantly in hyperdrive, high alert, and paranoid, making sure I did everything right all the time. If not, the great possibility I would be ended as George threatened me with so many times before. I forgive myself for falling in love with a monster, and no matter how grotesque he may become, I still loved him, hoped, and forgave. I tried breaking the spell so he wouldn't be a monster anymore. I saw who he was inside. George made me then, now, and always love him for all of his cracks also. We made each other our own brilliant pieces of art from the cracks and repairs. Unfortunately, not all cracks can be. In all of my forgiveness, George is my greatest lesson and will forever be a part of me. I think of him every day and still speak to him when alone on the rec yard. I ask his forgiveness and that he looks for me at the gates of heaven so I can tell him how sorry I am, endlessly, and that I never stopped loving him. In all of it and still. When I first came to jail, I put my mat under my bed and cried all day and all night for months, only falling asleep from being so exhausted with grief. I wrote him letters. I wrote his family and his daughters, apologizing for asking for their forgiveness. But due to fear that my life or sons would be jeopardized, I did not send. I am sorry. I cannot begin to fathom any of their grief and sadness. Please forgive me. Almost everything reminds me of him, seeing my stab wound especially every day especially. It truly reminds me that all I really did live through. George haunts me. He is everywhere. I believe because I do still love him, think of him, and miss his laugh the most. In my heart, I know he is with me and understands that this tragedy was not intentional. I hope everyone can, his family foremost. I didn't mean for this to happen. Please wholeheartedly know that, and always, I would never. Forgive me, George. Forgive me, Torres family. Forgive me, Judge Cranick. To the entire planet, please forgive me. I graciously and humbly ask for consideration, for forgiveness to be extended instead of judgment, for reconciliation and restoration for all of us to move forward. My apology is profuse and ceaseless. Allow me, please, to brush off the muck, wipe the blood off of my face, and fix the cuts in my skin. I ask for understanding in what really happened and for how long, for second chances, repentance, and redemption, to advocate for all domestic violence survivors, to help them overcome, heal, and still hope, always, to make their voices heard, to confidently walk with all of their scars on the outside and the inside, to help them not ever become a casualty of domestic violence as so many others, to stop the abuse and maltreatment before it's too late. There is always hope, and you can survive. In my soft-spoken conclusion, I ask this: would I be the darling mother, celebrated woman of the year, if it were I who died? How many daughters, mothers, sisters, aunts, grandmothers, nieces, and friends have been because they did? I am a survivor. Learn to do good, seek justice, rebuke oppressors, defend the fatherless, plead for the widow. Isaiah 1:17. All-encompassing, protect the abused.
Ms. Boone, is that the end of your written statement?
Yes.
Are you done?
Now, gathering your thoughts, did you want to make an oral statement?
I do.
All right, would you do that now?
Yes, please. My statement, my verbal statement is primarily to
So look, if you think she said here, where do I even start? Everything is so full of baloney. I don't even know how to construct this into something that makes sense. None of it makes sense. Oh, let's start from the beginning, at least that you wrote it down. All right, listen. She mentions brilliant. Brilliant. How is that even in the sentence world? She's referring to the cracks and all that stuff, right? The cracks. I don't understand why we're celebrating these cracks. These are not healthy cracks. These are not the cracks like, oh my God, I went to the store and someone told me I was rude and I changed myself. Like, these are like severe, serious crack. There's nothing brilliant about that. And then she thinks about him every day when she goes to the yard and tells him to forgive him. That's the inner workings of your mind. Listen, I don't know if that's true. You could be lying to me right now, right? But one thing I know for sure you didn't do, you never apologized to him in public. I'm sorry I killed him. Not I'm sorry this happened. Not like I never wanted this to happen. It was not intentional. Sorry I killed him. And also, not for nothing, we've already established that she tortured him first. So, sorry I hit you with a bat. Sorry I punched you in the face. Sorry I tumbled you down the stairs. And then sorry I killed you. Right? There's a lot of steps here till we get to the end. He haunts me every day. Every day. Yes, of course he will. But not because of the reason you might think, right? I don't believe in ghosts. But it haunts her in a sense of like, damn it. I got caught. Thanks, George. I got caught. Damn it, George. So, sorry I fell in love with him. No, sorry to George that he fell in love with you. Can you imagine the friend who set them up together? She must be somewhere being therapized. Like, oh my God, I caused this. I would totally feel like, oh crap. Okay, this is over. I'm no longer setting people up. And also, not for nothing, she's asking us to forgive her. Girl. Anyway, second chances. I'm ranting. Second chances, depending on the severity of the crime? No. No. And that's my opinion. Some people believe murderers can be changed. Great. You could change your murderous ways over there. And the last thing is, she's trying to be an advocate of domestic violence. Are you serious? Are you serious? Listen, let me tell you who the advocate of domestic violence is. Do you want to know who it is? It's whoever, it's public hotline, Google, Schmoogle, right? Because at the end of the day, if you're in a domestic violence situation, run. It's just a matter of time before one of you die. I've said it. If you're in a domestic violence situation, it's just a matter of time before one of you die because it always escalates. Always escalates. Escalates. Oh, that's correct. It always progresses to something worse. And if you're being mentally abused, it will escalate to physical. Yep. Welcome to statistics. It's a horrible world out there, but it's the best way we can predict the future. Now let's listen to a stupid oral statement.
Statement is primarily to the Torres family, to the judge, to his daughters. I know you all know who I really am and that I did care for George and that I do still love George. I know you know that we had very many good days. And I take offense to the statement of being said that this is just for a moment. Right now with me here in the courtroom in front of you all, this is just for a moment. But the moments before that, in order for me to be here, is endless. It's everlasting. The scars that I have on the inside, my outside scars have healed except for my stab wound. But this has changed me as a person to see things differently and to understand things differently and to not be weak and just try to protect yourself and forever, regardless of the time that I may receive from today, I forever will have this experience. I forever will have George Torres with me in my heart, in my mind, my body, and my soul. As he and I used to say that we were one soul split into two bodies.
Oh.
This is not just for a moment. It may be for everyone in this courtroom, but when I leave, this is forever. When you all leave, that this is forever. This is forever for everyone here and those who it matters to most. I am one of those who will experience this forever.
I can't believe she's
sorry.
saying this.
Words do not define my
I cannot.
shame. And I don't know what else it is that I can say and convey to the Torres family how this happened. The ifs and whys and how really don't matter. It happened, and I'm sorry. Words cannot describe. And I hope that everyone can forgive me, the Torres family most of all, and his daughters, because I know what he meant to them. And I don't think that anybody ever understood what he meant to me and I to him. And I ask for forgiveness.
I'm looking at my kid.
I have just one or two questions, if you don't mind. And you can speak on it if you want, or not. But this is a unique case, and one of the reasons it's so unique is that you were in jail for 4.5 years prior to your trial. And I understand that when you were brought up as a child, that you did have some spirituality in your family. Some church, some religion.
Always.
But I understand that you got away from that. Did you have a chance during the 4.5 years to look back at your spirituality?
Absolutely. You know, everyone supposes that this is one of the worst experiences of my life, and it's actually been one of my greatest. If I were not beaten to death, I was going to work myself to death on the outside, and I never had time to get back into my Bible and to pray and to be with the Lord. And I, being here incarcerated, have had time, of course, to get closer to God, to reacquaint myself to Him and realize what it's all about. This is all temporary, and when I say temporary, I don't mean by being set free in jail or from prison or wherever else. It means being set free and temporary, meaning that you work for something higher, you work for God, that you strive for your crown to be placed upon your head by Jesus Christ by being said, "You have done well, my good and faithful servant." I've always tried to be a good and faithful servant. I was just a servant as opposed to doing all that I can when my family were alive and I was going through everything up to this point. I've become so much more closer to the Lord, and it's made me such a better person, and I hope that I am an example going forward of the Lord's light and can draw many people to me because of it.
Thank you.
Any follow-up, State?
No, I assume that was the final word.
Thank you. She can return back to counsel's table.
Get out. Get out of here. Sorry. I couldn't listen to any more of this. You know, it's so ironic how all of a sudden God becomes so important. You know, it's like one of my friends said, it's like one of my friends says, there's nothing like love, like Christian love. I said, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Or there's nothing like forgiveness, like Christian forgiveness. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's always the case. And you know who always gets scapegoated? That's why I showed a picture of my husband, because you know, please, it's always like that. Like, oh, I love God, but not you. Oh, I killed someone. No, but I'm reformed because I love God. It irritates the hell out of me, but it is what it is. Listen, This last part, complete baloney. No need to even have a discussion about this because it is BS. All right? Now, again, I might get tomatoes thrown at me. Look. Dodge. Let's go to my final thought. Look, the original plan was to go over her letter that she wrote to the judge. I have it written here, right here. I have it open right in front of me, but I'm out of time. This will have to be for another video because I don't have any more time if I have to fit in the final thought and the let's talk. So let's go straight to my final thought based on what we just saw today. So look, final thought, listen, a disaster. A disaster. One thing I do want to point out, and I know there were other victim statements, but I wanted to focus on the mother primarily because, you know, that's someone's son. It doesn't negate the feeling of the other guys. It just, I'm trying to say is that for a parent, this is beyond just the worst news. It's literally a part of you. You can't move on for that. You can't move on. There's no such thing as moving on, right? Anyway, so let me tell you something about this woman. She literally, she told us essentially that she is better than all of us combined. No. I'm not making this up. She told us that because of this situation, because of this trial, because of us convicting her in the eyes of public opinion, because of the court convicting her in the eyes of public opinion, she is ultimately outstanding and extraordinary. I mean, you can't make this shit up. You cannot make this up. This is narcissism, allegedly, 101. And I think she's not even like I think she's a sociopath or a psychopath. You pick. Because sociopaths, psychopaths, they don't have insecurity as a narcissist would. Because someone with a narcissistic personality disorder, they're insecure. So they go home, cry at night, and feel so terrible themselves. But a psycho and a sociopath, they just, whatever. That's why they're more dangerous than a narcissist. At least a narcissist, you could just butter them up, you know. But the Jeffrey Dahmers, the Sarah Boones, the Chandler Andersons, psychos, or sociopath. The Dara Brooks, narcissist. He's not stupid. He wants to live. These guys don't even have that concept. Like, it's quite remarkable. And she sits there and tells us we're not supposed to talk about her. Really? And she sits there and tells us we're not supposed to make any monetary profit about her. Out of your mind. Out of your mind. And also, not for nothing, I used to have friends like that. Used to. Not anymore. You know, friends who would glee about not paying their bills. Like, oh my God, I got this like great artist and he did all this work for just $2. And I'm sitting there like, am I supposed to cheer you on about that? Like, you're a piece of shit. Like, yay, I got it for like almost free. And I'm sitting there like, someone worked really hard for this. Like, they came in, they went the extra mile, they worked really hard for this, and you're gloating about taking advantage of a person? Nah, no thanks. I like you and all, but I don't like you that much. Get out of my face with that. Like, that mentality, and it's very common. Pay your bills. Nobody works for free. Slavery is dead, allegedly. You know, like, enough with that stuff. That's it for my final thought. A lunatic. This was unbelievable. I can't imagine watching this really December whatever, 3 months ago. In real life, like, it would have been completely disastrous in terms of my mental health. That's my mental health, yeah. Anyway, let's go to my let's talk. Yeah, I'm running out of time. Okay, everyone, welcome to my let's talk. Thank you so much for being here. It's where I take off my jacket most of the time, and I talk to you more. Press like, subscribe, and yeah. Over there on the wall, a picture of my kid. I think I showed you, right? I can do that again. Look, I'm not on the gimbal. Oh no, I can't. All right, never mind. I'm not on the gimbal anymore because the gimbal like flops and dies. I'm on something stationary. I'm on a stick. So ridiculous. But I guess this light over here is blocking it. So my kid is over there, and you know, she was annoying the hell out of me, and I was like, you know what? Let me just look at my baby. And when she went on to the church and the religion, I was like, oh, really? Because let's talk about religion for a little bit, okay? Let's talk about religion. right? You see, this is my husband. Oh yeah, you all know. But listen to me very much about religion. In my own birth country, Cameroon, Africa, it's illegal. I'll be put to death. I would have been put to death in the name of religion. I have to decline this. Sorry. It's an important phone call. And again, anyway, I'll be put to death. Matter of fact, I was instructed by my mother never to go back, because through social media, they know I'm married with a kid, and all they want to do is me to come home, so they could kill the hell out of me. And they've said it. It's not even a secret, right? This is all about Christianity. There you go. You have it. There it is, right? So, you know, it eliminates swath of the world that I can even travel. Do you think I can go to an Arab country and discover? I would love to discover Marrakesh. I'm not going. I would love to discover Dubai. I'm not going. Oh my God. No, because for the simple fact of like, you know, no, look at it over there. They'll arrest you and get rid of you. So my world is limited to Europe. America, maybe. I don't know where we're going, but yeah. You know, but anyway, all in the name of religion. So every time I hear like religion, it irks me, because it's always like, oh really? Oh really? So loving and forgiving and welcoming and like, oh yeah. You know, but you bring up the whole gay thing and it's like, oh no. You know, even when I first came out, I remember when I expressed my coming out story here in this channel. That's the first time in the history of the channel where I had to curate the comments. The comments were like, oh, I didn't know you were gay. I'm out. Oh my God. This thing, you're like, I'm out. They got mad at me. And I remember I was like, okay, I can take it because I'm a 39-year-old, I was 38 at the time, 37. I'm a grown-ass man who gets therapized and I have a lot of support around me. I can take it. And then I was thinking to myself, like, what if someone who just sees this on YouTube sphere reads the comments is like, oh crap. And so I had to curate for the very first time, and I curated, and I was like, you see. Anyway, but when I go to bed at night, I sleep well. For those who are haters, do you? Probably not. Yeah, the haters don't sleep well. They don't. You can't sleep well when you're rotten in spirit, in mind, and in body, right? Anyway, back to my daughter for 2 seconds. Listen, let me tell you something. Nurture versus nature, right? So she's not mine biologically, right? But she's mine in every other way. Do you know what's interesting? Because you see how I am with you? I am mostly like that at home. I'm not like that outside, which I get to my point in a little bit. And so, you know, at home, it's fun in this house, especially between the three of us. And there's a lot of jovial jokes to spirit, and my daughter picks up on that. So she definitely has a little bit of my sass. Christopher is a little more serious. Although he laughs and calls me ridiculous all the time. But he's a little more like, good morning, good evening, hello. Right. Such a sweet guy. But anyway, so you know how sometimes I go, okay. Guess who says that? Olympia. She's like, okay. I was like, oh my God, I have to be careful with how I act now. Like, she just copying. Like yesterday, there was no music. She was in the mirror, like dancing. I do that all the time. I could be on a work call and I'm, you know, I'm listening, but like jamming and moving. Sometimes you just gotta move, and she does that. And then her jokester attitude. So I was you know, when she eats dinner, she has to go and clean her hands and wash her face. So I said, okay, pick up this stool and go clean your hands and wash your face. She was like, oh, okay. 2.5 years old. 2.5 years old. Like it's. I was saying, like, I've been around kids a lot. Please, the Italians, they're kids all the time. But I was like, I haven't seen that. Like how intuitive and intempestive my child of mine is. I don't know if it's all 2-year-olds. I don't know. She's different. She's different. She's definitely smart, but like she's up here, like perceptually. Do you know what I mean? And she just like, and then like she takes the stool, and I'm looking at her, I'm giggling, right? And she puts one foot on the stool. She goes, ah! And I go and I'm trying to have a stoic face and I go, clean your hands. Ah! And then she puts the other foot and I was on the floor laughing. Chris is over there laughing. But it's silly stuff that comes from me. Chris was like that also a little bit, but I'm a lot more ridiculous, if you know what I mean. So it's like nurture versus nature. And it's like she's mine in every way possible, right? And, you know, because a lot of times there's this worry of legacy. It's not my loins, not my DNA. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like this girl, like my essence is, like, she's mine, right? Like I am in her, and that's what legacy is, much more than just DNA. And, you know, for those who don't understand science, you know, the gene pool reshuffles themselves. So you have maybe like 2 or 3 or 4 generations, and then you're gone. So yeah, you could trace back to your ancestors, but like your actual DNA is not there. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Anyway, I hope that makes sense. But after a while, you disappear. You get diluted so much that you don't exist anymore in the gene pool of your descendant, right? So it's much deeper than that. It makes me so happy. Did I put deodorant today? Oh yeah, I did. I got a little whiff of Spuddy order. It's weird. Yeah, that's odd. All right. I don't know where that's from. All right. You know, so I talk to people very close. When I talk to you and know one another, so a few things I needed to change when I came to the US. One of them is, you know, when you say bonjour, you give kisses. And so there's a number of kisses you give. So you give 2 kisses to strangers and 3 kisses to friends. So it's like, bonjour, ça va? C'est comment? Ça va bien? Right? That's strangers. Acquaintance. Friends is like, oh, salut, ça s'est bien capsé, oui. Hey, ça va, comment ça va là? You give 3 kisses, right? So in America, it's sexual assault. So it's just, and you do it to men too. And so it's one of the things that, you know, even among friends, even among friends in the youth, right? So it's something that I've had to curb. Yeah, why did I get into the subject? I don't know. My brain's just like, partially because I'm looking at the time and I got to make a phone call and it's like, ooh, you're talking too much. Alicia, you can't be here for another 30 minutes, so hurry up. But anyway, I don't know why I said that. Yeah, I don't know why I said that. But yeah, I had to curb that. Why did I say that? Yeah, my family back home wants me dead. They do. They had a meeting about it too. How dare Alistair come out publicly with a husband? And then they even said white at that. Yeah. And then when the kid was born, oh, abomination. What? How can they let having a child be raised by two males? Yeah. Disgrace, blasphemous. He must come home. And you know what? You know what they would do to me? Please. I would land and I would never be seen again. I'll be beaten. And I'll be beaten. And then because there needs to be authority. So then I'll be, because they don't want to be, you know, murder. So I'll be sent to the police. And at the police station, they sexually assault the gay inmates. So those guys who were like, we're straight, they take the opportunity to sexually assault all inmates who are there for homosexuality crime. Because they know they're going to kill you. So it's like, yeah, let's have a good time. So I'll be beaten by my family, sent to the police station, beaten there, sodomized multiple times. Oh, it's horrific. It's horrific. People don't know the situation in Africa. Listen, it's worse than the Arab world. Nobody talks about it. Oh, but South Africa is legal. Yeah, because you don't know. Yeah, on paper it's legal, but on the ground you have no idea. Yeah, it's not enforced, and the government doesn't turn a blind eye. People use they use their sexual deviation and abuse it on the LGBTQ community. I mean, you cannot go anywhere on the continent and not meet someone of the community, especially open, who hasn't been sodomized by the police more than once, or the friends. Yeah. And you can't even complain. Look, it's horrific, but it's like, I'm not going. I'm not going. Reality, huh? Wow. Oh my God, the bubble of America. Yeah, the bubble will be shattered, by the way. Just wait. Honey, when that bubble will be pierced and shattered, people will be like, oh my God, I can't afford anything. Yep. Mark, you and I are kindred. Do you understand? You and I are kindred. I can hear your thoughts, and I'm answering back in giggles and laughter and agreeance. We are so fucked, but it's okay. It's okay. What are we gonna do? Nothing we can do about it. Anyway, thank you so much. Love you for watching. I'll see you next time. 1 hour and 34 seconds. I'm 30 minutes above my recording time. Insane. That means the editing will be, it's usually 2 times. So recording will be 4 hours. Editing will be 4 hours long. Anyway, bye.